I am back, but I've done something very unwise. I had about a litre of water to drink before I signed on. It was a very stupid thing to do. So if I have to run away during class again, you'll know why. I'll be right back. Okay, so Brandon, let me make you co-host again. There we go. Okie dokie. So Kathy, you may be the only person.
Oh, one?
Well, 20 people have booked in, but I did a class at this time on Monday and nobody came. So I'm going to be doing it regardless anyway. We're live streaming. So I will be doing everything, whether you choose to do it all or not. What time is it where you are?
2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, what are you doing up still? Is it too hot or something for you to go to bed?
I'm a night person.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Melbourne, Australia, so it's 4 p.m.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so what time is it there?
It's 4 p.m. Okay.
4 p.m. Okay. I was wondering why. I was wondering why you had a class 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, Carol Sue's coming on now too. Carol Sue is also, I do believe, on 2 a.m. So there'll be two of you with the matchsticks in your eyes or something. Hi, Carol Sue. Oh, and somebody else too. I'm so excited. I was expecting maybe nobody, and here we go. We've got a number of night owls joining us. So welcome, Carol Sue. Welcome, Bobby. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was just saying to Kathy, Carol Sue, if you're got your sound on already, that you must be on the same time zone. And Bobby, where are you joining us from? A balcony somewhere? Maybe you've not got sound. No, you do. Okay. Alrighty, that's okay. You're wherever you are. Okay. It is outside. All right, outside where I am is cold and it's raining. It's been raining all day. There is my weather check-in for you. I am going to just start sharing my slides and do my welcome for everyone. Oh, Bobby, that looks beautiful. Look at that. The sky is clear. It is not 2 a.m. in the morning for you. You are during the day somewhere. All right. Okay. But I'll share my slides. So I'm going to do my housekeeping as I need to do. So this is the class. Hopefully you have planned to come into a better balance class. It's a movement class, but we'll be doing simple balances. So they're simple. They may not be easy. Right? Our idea is just to give it a go, have a bit of fun, see what we can do when it comes to learning a little bit of balance in our bodies. A little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Natalie. I'm Natalie W because there's two of us here in Melbourne, Australia. And I've already mentioned it is 4 p.m. right here, right now. What is it? It's Wednesday. I can't keep track of the days right now. We've been in lockdown again for the last week and a half, coming in for 2 weeks right now. So all the days are very, very similar. But I've been teaching some form of movement since 2001. It started with a yoga teacher training and then it blossomed into 500,000 other courses and workshops. Not that many, but it feels like that many so many times because I am a why person and I love to know how the body works. And all of the learnings that I've done over the years, I like to share with other people and help them become more sort of empowered, more aware of their own bodies and able to be strong and powerful and agile and mobile throughout your entire life. That's my aim here in sharing the things that I am with you, not just today, but all of the classes that I'm doing here at Get Set Up. So a little bit of housekeeping. So we learn from each other. It would be nice if you have your cameras on. That way you can see what each other are doing. And if I'm giving you a suggestion that doesn't quite work for you or you don't quite understand it, you might be able to have a look at what somebody else is doing and get some tips and some tricks from that person as well. If you enjoy the class, you're welcome to request a recording, and all you need to do for that is to email help@getsetup.io. So this class is being live streamed. If you are live streaming, excellent, good way to watch it. But the best way to participate is to join us by registering for a class, and that way you can fully participate by asking questions. I welcome you to unmute yourself. You can ask a question that way, or you can also type the questions into the chat box function on Zoom here. And either Brandon, our technical assistant, will let me know that that question is there, or I'll find it sooner or later, and I'll hope to answer those questions for you. Get Set Up are not paid to promote any specific product, so I'm not selling anything to you while we're here. We're also not endorsing anything that I'm using. And one final note in my housekeeping is for you to please check with your doctor, right, if you have any medical issues. I'm a movement professional. I'm not a medical professional. So all of my advice is purely from a movement perspective. So if you have anything specific going on with you, it's a good idea to find out first from your doctor, or maybe a physical therapist or someone else in a medical profession for advice on that. But on that note, hopefully some movement can help if you've got some things going on. I'm going to stop the sharing and welcome Mate as well. So good to see you back here. Now, a couple of things that we're going to be using. A lot of the class will be done standing, and it's balanced, so I can't really avoid the standing for this class. I recommend that if you find you have issues, maybe get a chair or something you can hold onto the back of the chair, or position yourself close to a wall. You might also use like a broomstick or a mop, hold onto that for a little bit of balance, or you can just give it a go, try balancing on the middle of your room or your balcony, wherever you are. I'm also going to be using a block, something like a block. It doesn't have to be. This is a yoga block. It can be a book. I've got a recipe book there. We're going to just pop it on our head for a little bit. That. Do one without a glossy cover, right? That would just slide right off my head. It can be a mobile phone, right? It can be something that you can just put on your head and try and balance that way. A bit of good old-fashioned balancing with something on your head. It can be a book. And also, I have here, it's just a fleece blanket. Anything, pillow cushions, pillows, anything squishy, a towel, you can squash it up. We're going to, at the end, just have a bit of a stand on that, so it's not a hard, flat surface, which is what we spend the bulk of our days standing on. Just something to challenge our balance in that respect. So on that note, I'm going to put me on the big screen. I'm going to spotlight myself so you can see me a little bit easier. If you have any technical issues, Brandon is our technical assistant. He is here to help us out with any of those. So if you have problems with your sound or your picture, please type those into the chat box and he'll be able to help you out with those if that's at all possible for him. I'm going to begin by simply standing. I might take this off. Right, there, here's a thought. You could even stand on a jumper for the end bit where we're going to be challenging our balance that way. But we are going to begin by standing somewhere upright on our 2 feet. Ideally, you are barefoot, right? If that's not okay, you could be wearing socks. You could also wear shoes, but ideally you're barefoot, because we get a lot of feedback through our feet. I know 1 or 2 of you are in my foot class this morning, so hopefully that has prepared you. That was last night for you, some of you, or earlier on today, or whenever it was in your time zone. Sorry, I'm getting that confused. Hopefully that's going to help you with this class right now. This is what I'm hoping for. But we're going to be standing on upright with both of our feet down, flat on the mat. Oh, have a lift of all 10 toes. See if you can spread them out as wide as you can. Notice what happens with your weight. It'll pretty much shift back onto your heels a little bit. Press down through the balls of the feet, and then with your toes spread out, see if you can bring them back down to the mat. Hopefully they're remaining spread. It's okay if they don't. Right? And start to just press your toes down to the floor. What we don't want to happen is them to scrunch on up. They're just pushing directly down into the floor, into your mat, whatever it is that you're standing on. And what we're wanting to do is create a little bit of a tripod where the weight is back on your heel and then sort of underneath the big toe and underneath the sort of the bottom of the little toe, the base of the big toe and the base of the little toe on each of your 2 feet. And then just see if you can remain upright here. All right, we want to just check in. How do we feel? Do we feel strong? Do we feel steady? Are we staying still, or do we start to move from side to side? Your arms can be anywhere you like them, by your side, hands on hips, arms out to the side, holding onto a chair or a wall or something. All right. And then once you've got your basic stance, we're going to do a simple challenge by simply, you don't even move your head first off, just look with your eyes in one direction. Take your eyes off to one side and then back to center and then over to the other side and back to center. Maybe go again the first way and back to center and the other way and back to center and pause. Do you still feel strong and steady? If you do, we can go a little bit further than that, and that's going to be a complete head turn. So you're going to turn your head one way, all the way as far as you can, back to in front, turn your head all the way the other way, and then in front again. Maybe that one more time each way. Up to you. You can do it super slowly. You can do it faster. Right? These are pretty simple stuff right now, but we're going to build on to these simple moves as we go. Come back to center, pause there. All right. Now, can you keep the feeling of your tripod, but now close your eyes and get a sense of what's happening in your body now with your eyes closed. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're wobbling all over the place? And if you are, where are those wobbles coming from? Maybe you're feeling strong and steady here. What is going on in your body right now with your eyes closed? Maybe you can't close your eyes, and that's okay. Maybe you just start to gently lower your eyes and look down to the floor. Maybe you just play with turning your head or turning your eyes one way. Okay. Once we've got a general sense of 2 feet down, this is what's going on, this is how our body feels right now. If we turn, we look, we close our eyes, we're going to do a little bit of walking. Now, if you have a mat, I'm just looking for another tool. A mat is a really good thing to have a play with. If you don't have a mat, I also have a rug here on the floor. I could use this, or also I'm just going to grab a strap. Sorry, I didn't say this in the intro, but you might have something like a strap or a belt or a scarf or something. You could lie that down on your floor. And if all else fails, it doesn't matter. You're just going to try and walk in a straight line. But I'm going to position myself at the end of my mat, and I'm going to have one of my feet, it's half on the mat and half on my rug. Now, I want to feel the surfaces underneath my foot, and then I'm going to try and look directly ahead rather than down at my feet. I'm going to see if I can walk. It's going to be one foot in front of the other, and again, each foot is going to be touching the edge of the mat and a bit onto my floor. And I'm going to try and walk the circumference of my mat, looking directly ahead, right? Not down at my feet. If you have a strap or something else and you only have like one line, you can walk forwards, you could turn around and walk back the other way. And like I said, if you have nothing to give yourself some feedback through your feet, you could just try and walk a straight line. Whoa, I'm not doing too good on this side, but we're walking the edge of our mat without looking down at our feet. I'm going to go to the complete edge. And my mat actually changes textures at the end here, which makes it more difficult to feel. It's a completely different sensation. Now, once I'm back to the first corner, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to see if I can do the same thing walking backwards. So the same movements, right? Feeling the edge of my mat with my feet, looking directly ahead. And I'm doing it, right, relatively slowly. You might be able to see I'm reaching back with my toes. I'm feeling the mat. I'm rolling down through my heel. There's no right or wrong way, whoops, to do that. I'm really thrown at the end of this when it changes texture. It's almost like I lose the sensation entirely. Same thing happened when I did this last week. If I was wise, I would have got myself a different mat today. But anyway, that is just fine. So once I'm back to where I started, I'm going to just do one more around each way. But this time, as I'm walking, same thing with my feet. This time I'm going to turn my head. I'm just going to turn it slowly one way and then slowly the other way. Right, so I'm just going to go, and you can go at your pace, which way you turn your head. Right, we're just challenging our balance a little bit this way, right? Again, the simple moves, they might not be easy. Whoa, especially around those corners. Right, you'll be maybe at a bit of an advantage if you are just walking a straight line, which is perfect in and of itself. Right, and then I'm going to go backwards. So one last circumference of my mat, and it's turning my head to the left for a couple of steps, to the right for a couple of steps, still with my head upright. I'm still looking out, not down to my feet, so out into the distance, as much of a distance you can have in your lounge room, all the way back to where I started. All right, great. And then just come to standing anywhere. Simple heel lifts now. So it's going to be a balance, not on the full foot down, but now with a bit of a lift. So you might want to hold on to something. We're going to simply raise our heels and then lower them back down. Up we go. And then lower. Let's lift and lower. And you might be able to lower super slowly. If this is easy for you, lower down as slowly as you can. All right, raise on up and lower down slowly. If it's not too easy, you're just lifting and lowering as best you can. I'm trying to lift straight on up rather than pitching forward too much. Come back down. Do a few more of these. Well, that wasn't so great. Right, so your heels want to roll out to the side when you do the double leg lift and lower. I've got one more here to do. Lift and then all the way down. Great. Okay, pause a moment. Check out how you're feeling in your feet now. Can you find that tripod again? Can you be upright? All right. We're going to now get your block or your book or whatever it has, whatever it is that you have, and pop it on top of your head. Just going to grab my block. Oops. Got a couple of them lying around. Okay. So these are those good old-fashioned things. I think, when did these go out? What, probably about 50 years ago? I know my mum had to do this at school, or so she said, and they had to walk with a stick behind their arms as well. So you're going to try to balance something on top of your head. Right, so hopefully something with a flat surface. And I think if it's heavier, it's actually easier. I find that when I've got a really light block on my head, it falls off a little bit easier. It doesn't have a weight to hold it down. So it's then the same type of walking that we are doing along the outside of our mat. So you want to be looking forward so you can keep that block or whatever on top of your head. And I'm not walking the perimeter of my mat now. I was going to be walking around my room a little bit more. Whoa. I'm losing my balance. They're a little bit going around the circle or around in a circle. If this is perfectly okay for you, you could attempt to turn your head as you're walking around, come back, turn it the other way. Maybe you keep walking, maybe you do the head turn while you're still. Right, turn. Finding it hard to turn my head the whole way because I feel like this is going to fall off my head. Okay. A little bit longer. Pause and hold. When you come on back to, say, like where you started, pause and hold here. Now, would you be able to keep that on your head and lift your heels and lower them down? That's optional. The block's still on your head. Lift your heels and lower back down. All right, lift and lower. Let's try, say, 3 more of those. Lift, and I can see myself in on my screen. My block looks like it's tilted one way. But here's the thing, we're not symmetrical. We're not exactly the same on both sides of our body. You'd be hard pressed to find somebody who is actually symmetrical on both sides. Lift and lower. All right, let's put that block to the side. And we're going to give a one-legged stand a bit of a go. All right. So when I said earlier that when we're on the 2 feet, we're going to shift the weight back, lift the toes, spread them out, and then put them down and press the toes down into the mat. It's the same principle on one leg. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you. Well, I'll talk you through the foot in a moment. When you're stepping onto one foot, you could lift onto the toes of your other foot. You could lift your leg right up. You could maybe slide your leg back a little bit or out to the side and maybe be a little bit lighter on that. So you decide what you feel comfortable with. Again, you could hold onto a chair or onto the wall. Now, what we'll do first, I'm going to start on my right leg. So you might want to mirror me and start on your left leg. That's up to you. You're going to step onto your foot, lift your toes, spread them out, bring your toes back to the mat and try to press them down into the mat and put a little bend in your knee. This is the standing leg. Press down and then see if you can lift your other leg off the floor and see if you can hold. See what your balance is like, pushing your toes directly down. Again, we don't want to scrunch our toes up. We're just pushing down. We have a little bend in the standing leg. Your other leg that's lifted can do what it needs to do, up higher, even the toes on the floor still. Good. And let's come on up and we'll switch sides. So maybe your other foot's back a little bit for balance. You're going to lift your toes, spread them out, bring them back down, press them down into the floor, a little bend in that knee. And again, you choose how you lift your other leg. Right, hold, 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 hold. So that pressing down of your feet or your toes into the mat, it's coming from an exercise called short foot, which is designed to be like a foot to core balance tool. Right, when we're pressing down there, it affects everything, all the way up the leg, right into your pelvic floor muscles, right into your core. All right, let's release. Right, let's do it again on the first leg. Right, spread your toes, lift them up, press them down, bit of a bend in your knee, lift your other foot. You might lift your knee up higher, down lower. Right, what does that feel like? If you're feeling really steady here, now remember when we had both feet down, just your eyes. Take a look to the right, back to center, look to the left. Whoa, there I go on my left, back to center. And then come out of there. And then we'll switch sides. Your toes lift. All right, lift them up, spread them out, put them down, press them down into the mat, little bend in your knee, lift your other leg, hold, find your balance. Your arms any way you want to. They can be here, they can be here, they can be out up here somewhere like a tree pose. All right, look to the right with your eyes. Whoop, back to center. Not doing too well now. Look to the left. Been playing with this all morning. Back to center. Maybe I've done too much. Put your foot back down again. All right. Another time. This time we'll do the whole head turn. Again, you're going to take the range that feels right for you. Back onto one foot. Spread your toes. Press them down. Little bend. Lift your other foot. All right. Balance. Turn your head one way. Back to center if that's okay. To the other side. All right. I'm going slowly. Back to center. Pause there. And then switch. All right, your toes spread, press them down, bit of a bend in your knee, lift your other foot, hold it here, pause, turn your head one way, back to center, turn your head the other way, come back to center, hold a little bit longer. Yeah, and step your foot back. So I've got one more in this simple one-legged standing version. It's going to be with my eyes closed. I'm not going to turn my head. You can if you like. All right. So again, right, you choose a variation that works for you. So toes spread, they press down, bit of a bend in your knee, lift one foot. Let's see if we can close our eyes. Oh, now I can automatically feel my ankle going all over the place. I was just given some pre-employment testing, physical testing for a couple of jobs I was working at relatively recently. And one of the exercises was to be able to stand on one leg with my eyes closed for 30 seconds at a time. All right, what's that? Okay, I'm going to switch legs. I'm going to come out on one side. I'm not doing such a good job here today. I think I did better in my test. All right, let's do the other side. All right, lift, spread your toes, press them down, bend your knee, lift your other foot. If you like, close your eyes. See if you can hold. Whoa, notice what's going on. I am so tilting off to my right at the moment. I'm all over the place. If you feel better off holding on or being near a wall or near a chair that you don't topple over, good option. Pause, open and release. Have a little bit of a walk around. Just you don't have to think about walking around, just walk around a little bit. Well, kind of like a little active movement through your feet, through your legs, and all the muscles that have been working already. Okay, and then what we're going to do is those heel raises. So once again, you can lift both heels up and lower down, or you can do a one-legged version. Now that's totally up to you. I am going to hold on to the back of my chair for my one-legged version. If you feel that you're good being in the middle of the room, that's perfect. All right, I'm going to assume the same kind of position, but I don't have to worry too much about my toes because I'm going to once again lift my heel and lower it back down. Now that's a lot of work in my right leg, foot, ankle, calf, right? All that's going on right now. So you're just going to do the best you can. Lift and lower and lift. If it's too much, stay with both of your feet down. I'll do 3 more on this one foot, and 2, lower, and last one, and lower back down. Oh, so much work on my calves. Let's switch over legs. You can rest it out completely, or we can stay on both feet if either of those is a better option for you. So change legs, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to lift and lower, and again, lift and lower. Let's keep going, lift and lower. How many did I do on the other foot? I have no idea. I'm going to do 3 more. And 2. And last one. And lower, and both feet down again. Pause. Let's just move around through the feet a little bit. Again, I'm just going to hold on. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm going to try and do a sort of a roll around my foot. So I'm going to start with my toes curled under a little bit, put some weight onto the top of my foot, and then roll down onto the little toe side of the foot, down around over the toes, onto the big toe side of my foot, and then over my toes again. So it's this circular kind of foot ankle movement. Around I go. Right, all of my leg is actually moving here, and that's okay. Right, I want to sort of stimulate, maybe put some pressure a bit more on the outside of my foot, and then I'll change direction. And you can put as little or as much pressure onto your foot as you like. It could be kind of painful, right? Going through over your toes at the top of your foot, around, and 1 more in that direction. And then that foot will come back down flat on the mat, and then I'll switch feet, same sort of thing. Curl your toes under if that's okay, and then try and do a bit of a roll around your foot, around. And again, yeah. One more time, this one way. And then change directions. Oh, it's a bit hard to get over my big toe. Okay. And again. Last one on this foot. Oops, I'm stuck. Again, over my toes. And then come on back, both feet down. Now, just a little play with your feet other ways. Can you roll over onto the outside edge, the little toe side of your feet? So the big toe side or the inside edges of your feet are rolling up and your feet, inside feet are facing each other. Is that possible to do? Can you kind of balance there for a moment? Bit of a stretch through your ankles here. Come on back to center and now go the other way. So you're on the big toe side of your feet, the little toe side of your feet lift up possibly off the mat. That might not be possible. Roll back down. Go to the outside edge of your feet again and roll on down. And now to the inside edge and roll back down. We'll do that one more time each way to the outside of your feet and then back down again. And then the inside of your feet and back down. All right, we are going to come on down onto our knees. Now, if this is going to create an issue for you, you can get a blanket or something, pop your knees on your blanket. Now, Carol Sue, I don't think this is going to be good for you all the way down. So you're just going to have a little play, maybe holding onto your chair if that's okay. Do more of like kind of a bend in the knees and play like that. Maybe really hold on, maybe do a lunge. We'll kind of be coming through this, or you can sit in your chair. You have done it with me quite a few times, that lunging kind of position. So find what is best for you. But if it's okay, and that's not just for Carol Sue, that's for anyone else on the call right now who is unable to come on down onto your knees. But we will be spending a little bit of time here, so hopefully that's okay. I'm going to have my toes curled under and I'm going to sit back onto my feet. Now, I know this is not good for a lot of people for either their feet, it hurts too much, or on their knees. It might be that you want to stay up here and just go back a little bit and come on up. But if you're capable of sitting all the way down on your feet, give that a try. Lift back up again. See if you can flatten your feet out and sit down on your feet like that. So I don't need that. So I'm just going to pop that aside, but you might want something underneath your knees. Come on back up. Curl your toes under. Sit back. I realize I'm blending into my mat, so I'm actually going to move that out of the way so you can see me a little bit better. That's better. Okay. And then down and then up. Now, this is where I'm going to end up. This is where you might want some extra support. The plan is now to take one of these legs and step the foot forward into this kneeling lunge position. You may want something underneath your knee that's down on the mat. And then I'm going to bring that foot through again. So both knees are together. Then I'm going to do the other foot, step it forward, and then bring that back next to the other one. So I want to show you from the front. What we see a lot of here is like we've got to get out of the way of our hips. So we'll kind of lean over a little bit and swing the leg through around that way, and then lean and come back. And of course you can hang on to something. What we're trying to do is press down into the one leg and try to bring the other foot more directly forward, and then whoops, directly back. Right, so there is your balance challenge here, right? Great option, holding on to a seat or something, bringing your foot, stepping it forward, bringing it back so your knees are next to one another. Try that maybe a few more times. Right, so again, if it's not okay here, let's just go a little play with a bit of, right, a bit of lunging, right, standing lunging. You can certainly play with that. Right, one foot and then back, and the other one forward and back. I'm going to do that one more time, each leg. It's so much easier holding onto the chair. and the other one. And then come on back. And then again, you'll stay here or flatten your feet out, sit back down on your feet. Maybe it's better to just have a bit of a rest, maybe a bit of a stretch out, more like this, more like a child's pose. Something that works okay for you. We're just taking a little time out here. And whether you're standing or whether you're down on your knees, find a way for that little bit of time out. Okay, and then we're going to play with balance on one knee. So there will be a bit of weight on the one knee. We're coming up again. One foot's going to come forward. Now, my aim here is I'm taking my arms out to the side because I find that helpful for me. I'm going to try and lift my front foot off the floor and play with a bit of balance here, keeping myself from falling over with my right foot, which is the one in front, lifted off the floor. So it's a kneeling balance challenge. I'm having a little, you can put your foot down if you need to like that. If you think you're going to fall over, you can have your arms any way you like, right? Not only are we working with balance, we're also working on hip strength now, right? The leg that's on the floor, a little longer, right? And if it's too much, do some more balancing while you're standing up, right? Have more of a play that way. Right, that is a good option. You're still working your hip, you're still playing with your balance. Right, I'm going to switch over legs. Step your other foot forward. Right, there's always going to be a way that we can find for you to do the exercise. It might just look a bit different. Right, if you're okay on your knees, lift your other foot up. If you're standing, you're 1 foot down, 1 foot, maybe lifting off the floor. Well, can you see how I'm leaning back more on this one? And we don't actually expect you to be still, right, while you're doing this balance. Kind of do expect you to be moving around a bit because we want to train the hip to be strong and stable in all the different, right, all the various ways the body can find itself to be in. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring that knee back down again, sit back again, or a child's pose, or if you're standing up, maybe you want to try a forward bend or something similar to that. Okay. Now I'm just going to add on to that. So I'm going to come on back up onto my knees, curl my toes, sit back down so my feet are getting a bit of a stretch here, just where you can. Come on back up. Now, my right leg, I'm going to step it forward. This time, my toes are curled under. I'm going to try and press down through my feet, lift my back knee, and then step the foot forward. Now, if you're already standing, you're just going to do the top part of that move, right? Maybe you're holding onto a chair, maybe not. We're going to go in reverse. Step the foot back, your left foot, keep your right knee forward, right? Bend your knees. If you're standing, this is it. You can just step forward again, right? If you're okay to come all the way down to the floor, pop your knee down, bring your other knee next to that, flatten your toes and sit down as best you can. We're going to lead with the other leg now. Lift on up, curl your toes, maybe sit back. Come on up. This time it'll be your left foot forward. If you did the right foot last time, we're going to try and stand on up. See how I'm trying to lift right on up nice and tall and then step forward rather than leaning forward, rather than doing any of that to get up. I'm trying to remain upright with my torso. Right, then it's my right foot that's going to step back, bend the knee. So if you're in the standing position, this is where you're going to. You can come back up and forward again. So you might do a few more repetitions, right? My knees are going to come next to each other, flattening out my feet. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do that 2 more times on each leg. Right, so if it's too much, have a rest. If it's not enough, you can continue. Don't have a rest anytime. All right, step a foot forward. Right, press down through your feet. Try to stand upright. Step forward. Whoa, you can hold onto a chair or a wall. Step your left back. Lower yourself down. Knees together. Flatten your feet. If that's okay, sit down. Come on back up. On the curled toes. Lift. Right, so everything, my legs, my hips are all working together. My right foot comes back. I'm lowering down. And the slower I do this, right, the more challenging the balance becomes. If I do it really fast, if I do it with speed, it takes away some of my need to balance, right? So slower becomes more of a balance challenge. Step forward. I'm getting closer and closer to my chair. Back, lower. This will be my last time. I've got one more foot to lead with. And down. And I'm also getting very warm doing this, which is nice on a cold day. I think most of you on the call is probably quite warm where you are right now. So you might not want to be warming up. Now, I just want to finish off by going back because I came up with my left leg forward. When I come on back again and down, and then have a rest any which way. Could be like a child's pose, forward bend, sitting on your chair, whatever works for you. And then however you can, we're going to come on up to standing. So I'm just going to, I didn't even tell you how I was doing that. I just curled on over. I'm going to roll on up to standing. Okay. So we've done a few one-legged balances already. We're going to do another one. And this is going to actually take a forward bend into it. So again, you can have a chair handy, right? Or not. You can do it in the center of your room. See how you feel. I'm going to turn side on so we can see this one. So once again, lift your toes, right? Your other foot can be back a little bit. Spread them out, put them down, put a bit of a bend in your knee. Take a lean forward. Now, arms any way you like. And again, they can be holding onto a chair. See if you can slide your other foot back. You might choose to keep it in contact with the mat and just you're weighting up, you're putting your body weight onto your right leg. If it feels okay, your back leg, right, this is my left leg, can lift on up and we're going to hold our balance here. We're going to reach out through your left leg, reach forward through the top of your head. Now your arms can be reaching anywhere. You could even hold onto your standing leg if you find that helpful. Reach, 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 reach. Right, come on back up. Maybe you put your foot down, slide it forward and come on up, right? Right, so it's kind of what we were just doing, but it's more like sort of suspending in space in that stand up, sit down movement, or kneel down, I should say. Let's do the other side. Spread your toes, right? Press them down to the mat, a bit of a bend, lean forward, take your leg back. Maybe lift it up off the mat. Maybe lean forward more. Maybe lift your leg up some more. Think about reaching out and back through your leg. I'm reaching back towards my cubes behind me. I'm reaching forward to the door in front of me with the top of my head. Arms can reach on back. Ooh. Where is the weight now on your foot, on your standing leg? How does that feel? All right, is it, I'm finding myself now more on the front of my foot, the ball of my foot. I want to try and shift back onto my heel a bit more and then come on back up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is you having a chat or do you have a question? That's okay. We'll do that one more time. All right, we'll do that one more time on each leg. So back to the first leg again, right? Spread your toes, press them down, bend your knee a little bit. Lean forward. Maybe your leg comes straight up off the mat. You're going to reach on out and forward. I was going to say like a rocket then, but I don't know how that's going to resemble a rocket. But anyway, shift your weight back onto your heel if you can. Keep pressing down through your toes. Reach out nice and long. And then come on up all the way. And then one final one on the other leg. Right? Spread your toes, press down, bend your knee. Out you go, lean forward. Your leg goes back behind you. Hold it there. And then come on back up. All right, let's move our legs a little bit more. First, let's just have another walk around or march on the spot if that's better for you, if you're limited for space. Okay. I'm seeing online people with enormous lounge rooms, and this is basically mine. I don't have that much room to move around. And then we're going to move our leg in a different way, just a little bit of a leg swing. So I'm going to step down onto my one foot, and my other leg's going to swing backwards and forwards. You can hold on, or your arms can go right in opposite ways. Right, so if my right leg's coming forward, my left arm is coming forward, that's helping me with balance in this movement. We'll kick backwards and forwards. Let's do a few more of these. 3, 2, and 1. That's it. And then I'll switch legs. So stepping onto my right foot, my left leg is going to just swing backwards and forwards. So now everything else that we were doing was relatively slow. So what happens if we move a little bit faster, right, with a bit of speed? Flashing on my screen. 3 more of these. 2, 1. Okay. Now, one final sort of one-leg balance. There's going to be a 2-leg to a 1-leg balance. And now we're going to be side stepping out to the side. So I'm going to step onto the one foot. I'm going to lift my other leg and I'm going to reach out and I'm going to step down. And I'm going to bend that knee. So it's like a sideways lunge. You decide how far, how much you bend, how little you bend. And I'm going to push off and step back onto my first foot and then lift my leg back up again. All right, I'm going to step it out, lunge, and then come back, push off, and have a little balance. Now, right, lunge, push, balance. Now, if you do this faster, the balance is going to be more of a challenge, right? So hop, sort of rebound, right? Off, rebound. See if you can balance, right? It's a tap down, push off, balance, hold a little bit. Do a few more. This side, balance. 2. And last one, and balance, pause at the end there. Yeah, how quickly can you come to a stop is basically what we're thinking about doing. I'm just moving away from my chair. Let's try it with the other leg. Right, lift up, step off to the side, little lunge, press back, try and have a little bit of a balance. Right, out, starting relatively slowly. Out. And you can do this stepping all the ways, right? Whoops, I'm going out to the side. I'm going to push off and be a little bit faster now. You can step forward, you can step back. You could do like a little curtsy kind of step back behind you and play with pushing back onto the one foot. You could also alternate from side to side. So here's some ideas that I'm throwing out if you want to play with these concepts. I'll do one more. And pause and hold. And then release. Now, finally, get yourself a surface now that is not flat and hard. So I'm going to go, there's my jumper scrunched up, there's my rolled up fleece blanket. If you've got pillows to stack up, just something. Now, again, you could hold on to something if you're not feeling confident. We want something to be a little bit unsteady. If you've got all the things at home and you have like a Bosu or like a blow-up disc or something that's really squishy and movable, get that out and have a play with that. But we're going to come back onto the one foot and we're going to step onto our softer, more unsteady surface, and we're going to lift your other foot up. Now, rather than just, first you're going to start just to try and be steady on top of whatever it is that you have chosen to stand on. And then after you've become steady, play with it. Try to now move yourself around. Try to maybe move your leg out behind you, out to the side. Play, lean forward, lean back. Let your limbs go in all the different positions. Right. What can you do? You could bend your knee. You can try and touch the floor. Right, and come back up. Could you do that backwards? I'm pretty sure I can't. All right, and maybe off to the side a little bit more. Right, we want to just play with a different kind of surface. We want to teach our body how to react for if we are walking down the street somewhere and we step onto something that is unsteady, you know, like a manhole cover or a cobblestone or something that's not in place and it moves when we step on it and we're not used to doing it, right? We're not expecting it. is your body able to react so you don't fall over? You can right yourself because you're used to doing this unbalanced kind of movement. All right, let's switch legs. If I've spent too long on one leg, just keep switching them or rest. This is going to be the last thing I do, right? It's been a lot of holding on one leg during the last 40 minutes or so. All right, so, oh, sorry, first I'm going to try and find a bit of balance and try and find myself in a bit of stillness. And you can stay still if you like. You can hold on to something, or you could explore, right, what you can do, how you can move, how your whole body comes together to keep yourself from falling over, right? How all of the muscles react in all the different ways, right? It's what we call reflexive stability, right? Your body's reflexively, it's just going to automatically, without thinking about it, keep you stable. And this kind of thing, it's not going to come automatically. It's something that you have to play with, right? It's practice over time. We can all get better at balance by simply working on it. All right, okay. That might be enough. My legs are sore. I've got to teach a yoga class in a moment too. All right. That is no excuse, but I'm using it right now. Okay, so I think that is quite a lot of balance to have a bit of a play with today. Do any of you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to make? Is something not clear or?
It was a very good class.
Thanks
It
so
was
much.
a very good class. I think I need to practice.
Okay, yeah, we all do. We all do. You can see I was like practically falling over a number of times. So yeah, absolutely. So I think it's at a different time next week. Right? So have a look at the schedule if you want to do it again. All right, we'll be on a different day and time possibly next week. I know my classes are moving around a little bit, right? Just so other people have more access to it at different times. But yeah, thank you so much for that. Thank you all. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, my eyes aren't that good. I should really put my glasses on. So thanks for joining me on your balcony there. Thanks, Carol Sue, again.
Thank you.
Again. Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Thanks, mate.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you
for a TA. I'm just going to do my goodbye slides. It's okay if you have seen these 10,000 times before. You do not have to stay around and watch them. But, these are part of it for me, for my housekeeping. So thanks so much. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, particularly those of you who it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's now almost 3 o'clock in the morning. That's just crazy. All right, but yeah, if you enjoy your classes here at Get Set Up, we'd love it if you could share your experiences. Right, if you're on social media, please use the hashtag or the @ symbol with Get Set Up after that, and that way more people will find us and find out about it and be able to do these classes as well. If you have any stories that you'd like to share, email Liz at getsetup.io. That's her in the picture there. She likes to write blogs about our experiences. So again, more people can find us. And my other classes, they're all listed here. Well, not all of them on the screen there, but there are so many other wonderful fitness-based classes here on Get Set Up. Have a look for them on your schedule. There's so many. There's going to be one to suit you pretty much every day of the week. So give them all a go and do the things that you enjoy, right? If we enjoy doing something, we'll come back to it again and again, and we can only benefit from that. So pretty soon after I finish this call, I'll be sending you some class notes if you have joined.
Great.
Registering, just with some little tips about what we've been doing. Also, we may be asking you for some feedback. So feel free to give me 5 stars or less if feel so inclined. Yeah, and also share it with a friend. Invite a friend to class. If you have any night owl friends that want to do this at 2 a.m. in the morning or whenever you're doing it, yeah, when you register, you'll be prompted with a little invite a friend button either on your desktop or your mobile there. Click on that and you'll be sent a link, and you can share that with a friend, and maybe you can have a bit of a chat about it or a bit of a laugh about it later
All right,
on.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
one more thing. I know you think I'm just when you think I'm going to go. Feel free to click off if you're ready to go. Yeah, if you've got a class idea that we're not doing yet, feel free to suggest that class. Or you could also be on this side of the camera. You could be sharing your favourite thing with a group of people. And finally, if you want a recording of the session, all of that, email help@getsetup.io and someone will help you out with that. And I know you probably want to go to bed now, Kathy. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being, and we hope to see you again soon. Have
Yes.
a wonderful, wonderful evening, day, or whatever you've got there.
You
And,
enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay,
My
thanks.
day's
Kath.
gonna start again.
All right, take care.
Bye.